Amazing. Do all this thing. Sticks and stones may break my bones. Yeah. But easy now, I'm bulletproof, so words can never hurt me. Sticks and stones may break my bones. Yeah. But easy now, I'm bulletproof, your words can never hurt me. Look.
Yo, we up.
21.
Episode 21.
That Tim Duncan? That Kevin Garnett?
I didn't even. Are you sure his Tim Duncan's number was 21?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Tim
As a
Duncan.
man that is not of any power forward stature knows the numbers of the great power forwards is insane.
I used to have a Tim Duncan jersey.
That's that Tim Duncan app. That's that 21.
Who in their goddamn mind bought you a Tim Duncan jersey?
I bought myself a Tim Duncan jersey.
Why would you buy yourself a Tim Duncan jersey?
Was it on
Explain
sale?
this.
I had gray Harachis, and they just came out with their gray,
The gray and black jersey?
yeah, gray and black jersey.
But you could have got a Tony Parker jersey.
No, let's not do that.
That's better than Tim Duncan.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Tim Duncan's one of the greatest power forwards
Of all time.
Yeah, but he's
Tony
boring.
Parker is not even
So
top
what?
10
He's a
point
champion,
guards.
bro.
He's not. But Tony Parker get that, you know that.
No, Tim Duncan. No. Who is it? Who's the captain of the Spurs?
Tim
Tim
Duncan.
Duncan.
So I'm gonna get the second nigga?
You should get the nigga that began pussy. Not the big goofy looking motherfucker. Wow.
Because he was fucking Evil Longoria that one season. That's why. That's it. That's the only reason to wear his jersey.
There's a reason why they divorced, because that dude couldn't keep it in his pants.
And guess what? There's a reason why there ain't no Robin movies out. Okay, it's all about Batman. Okay, nobody care about the psychic. Okay.
Robin has a show.
Yeah.
Oh, Robin has a show. He ain't got no movies.
And what?
Never say
Not
never.
yet. He has a whole
Not
ass
yet.
TV show. Yeah, mad TV shows.
Oh, he has a TV shows. How good was it, Hans? You watched it?
They're
Oh.
actually-
Oh, okay, cool.
Justice League is
You
good.
watched it.
I watched the Robin show.
Titans? Is that not the Robin show?
It's
'Cause
called
ain't nobody give
Titans.
a fuck about the rest of them niggas.
That's true. And guess what? The best part of the Titan show was Batman. Still, my nigga. That's crazy.
It's Batman.
Are we talking about the live action one?
Yeah.
He was in it. Batman. They showed Batman.
Bruce Wayne.
Oh, okay, so no.
Bruce Wayne was in it.
Bruce Wayne don't count.
And he still stole the show.
Of course he stole the show. He's goddamn Bruce Wayne.
Because Robin sucks, okay? I ain't
That's
gonna
a lot-
damn Parker,
That's a
Tony
lot of
Parker.
blasphemy on Robin. Like I don't know. I don't
Nah,
know anybody who got beef with Robin the way you got beef.
I ain't got beef with Robin, but I'm just not rocking that Tony Parker jersey.
What about Manu Ginobili?
I'd rock a Manu
Emmanuel.
jersey.
Emmanuel.
I'd rock a Manu jersey.
Son, that
He was
my
a cold ass Spanish dude.
You know what?
And he was left handed.
Out of everybody that should have
Like
came
And he
home,
was
everybody
coming
but
off the
Tim
bench.
Duncan.
out of everybody
and
that
he was cooking dudes.
out of everybody that should have came home, Imani was the only person I let slide that didn't come home. My son was rocking that ball spot for a decade.
Nah, the coming home thing is only a black dude thing. White dudes can get away with that receding, bald cap, bowling shit.
My
all
son,
day
my
long.
son's roof was gone. George Jefferson.
Nah, his roof was going different though. It was
It was just like boop,
yeah,
and then he had hair thinning out in the front, just slowly
dropping buckets.
decaying.
though.
Yeah, out here dropping buckets, doing everything.
Shall we? Shall we do the check-in as we normally do?
First and foremost, I'm your host, Pod Poppy. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it gangster on this pod as always.
And to the left of him, we have me, none other than Jerry the Show, aka Mr. Photo. Here, just make it look good, baby.
And then me, the sweating ass nigga that looked like he just jumped out of the pool. The big paws, myself.
Your Jerry Curl's popping today. Your Jerry Curl juices is
You see this nigga?
juicing.
He got the Clark Kent curl hanging
Get
on
him,
right
get him
right
some
on
Jerry
forehead.
Curl spray.
Son.
You can be like the nigga in the Foundation house, so just Rick James spray your shit all day.
Before the pandemic, I'm like, Hans, you got a man bunny, bro. You got to grow your hair, man bunny. You got to do it for the team. You got to do it for the team. I'm just glad to see his hair flourishing, man. And his beard grew in.
Oh my god, it did grow in. Thank you. It was a lot of hard work. This pandemic. I was out here like, if there's one thing I'm gonna leave this bitch with, it's a nice looking beard. I think it's almost there. I got little patches to fill in here, but it's solid. It's trimmed down now, so it doesn't look as good as it normally does.
Every time you shave, I take it personally. I'm like, son, what did I do to you, bro?
You take it.
Yeah.
I take it personally. Like,
Why?
son, why do you shave? I feel like you let me down every time you shave.
How long do you want me to grow the bitch?
Last time a dude came through with a porn stash. He was like, yeah.
Every once in a while, you got to switch it up.
Nigga was like,
I'm
yeah.
not doing that.
He's like, yeah, I might be a mattress actress. I'm like, nigga, don't go around saying that.
A mattress
Why not?
actress.
Mattress actors get paid well. OnlyFans is legit popping. You can make millions of dollars.
If people know you and care about you and want to watch
You
it.
gotta know me. Just gotta know my schlong.
You gotta have good content.
I have to have good content.
You
What's
gotta
that?
have good content on OnlyFans.
People-
You gotta make people. You gotta promote that shit. People gotta be interested.
All right. So if I had an OnlyFans, how would you guys market it?
What?
Why would we
What?
market your OnlyFans?
Son,
Now the
what are
ones
we
with the
doing here?
ideas, I'll be the talent.
I
No,
had-
no,
how
no,
would niggas
no.
market their OnlyFans.
You brought up the OnlyFans.
I had
Yeah.
an OnlyFans. How would I market it? I just be like, yo, link in the bio, like everybody else.
What
does.
would be your OnlyFans name? Would it be Pod Poppy?
No, I'd have to.
Schlong Poppy?
The Big Grease.
No.
D squared.
The Big Grease. What the fuck? No, those are terrible names. I would have to think of a really good one.
He said Big Reese.
Yeah, no. That's, yeah,
But
so that's my
I'm
everyday
guessing
name.
you're just gonna keep the show, Jared.
That's my everyday name.
I would like to hope so. But
I don't know why I can't just be the Pod Piper. I'm telling you.
I mean, son, I'm not gonna
the
negate
OnlyFans,
that.
I can pull it off.
It's risque enough, my nigga. It's risque enough.
what I'm
That'll
saying?
work.
Honestly, I don't think enough time has passed for you to be the Pod Piper. You got to give it at least like 5 more years.
You know
That's
what?
a long time.
One of R. Kelly's joints is back on Spotify, so I'm not sure who did what, but Ignition is definitely on Spotify.
They took it off?
You were checking for it?
Nah, I was listening to a playlist, and I'm like, whoa.
I don't think they took it off. Did they take Bill Cosby shows off the air?
I haven't seen Bill Cosby on my guide for a long time.
You probably watched one of his shows. Probably watched
Definitely, son.
Cosby Show. on
I
his
I
channel.
said this in past episodes. The Cosby Show is one of my favorite episodes, shows growing up.
It was
Definitely.
okay. It was a time filler.
Honestly, that was one of the shows that was about the haves. Black people having. The mom was a lawyer, the dad was a doctor. They had a brownstone in Brooklyn. It was different.
I always forgot there were some Brooklyn niggas. They were just so uppity. I always thought they're not from New York.
I mean, they was from Brooklyn.
Were they really that uppity in the show?
They didn't seem like Brooklyn niggas.
Nah, they wasn't they was in Brooklyn in the 80s,
You didn't see one Brooklyn nigga in that entire show.
80s, early 90s. Like
Theo
that was
Theo tried to get a little gangster.
but that was in the middle of the drug, the war on drugs, and it's just like them niggas didn't look like they have nothing to do. Like what I'm saying? They was in New York, in the midst of the craziness, and I guess you could call it uppity in comparison.
Yeah.
But
The only time you'd see them really experience the black things when they had like that super special episode where they put up the little disclaimer before it's like, oh, very special episode of the Cosby Show.
and it was never one of
kinda
the
was
kids.
like-
it was
yeah.
always one of the kids' friends.
Yeah, it
You
was
know, going
kinda
through
like,
something.
and even like Family Matters, even those type of shows where the family dynamic was a certain way, and they had those type of shows. It always almost seemed like they were in a black bubble. What affected like black people in the culture and racism in society didn't affect them until, like you said, maybe that one special episode, like when Eddie got pulled over and was crying.
Or when Laura got robbed for her leather jacket.
Yeah,
Or Will going to jail.
yeah.
for
Oh,
the
Will
car.
got shot too. Will got
I
shot.
forgot he got shot. He got.
But they only say that you didn't get that from the old Fresh Prince.
What you mean?
Didn't he get shot in the new Fresh Prince?
No, he got shot. He got shot in the original '90s show.
He did.
What, and survived?
Yeah,
He got like shot in the butt, right?
Nah, he got shot in the stomach.
He got shot in the stomach.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it was like a 2-part episode where they talked about gun violence and all those kind of things. It's crazy, gun violence. How on par is that 25-year-old episode to today? That's crazy.
Yeah, but their version
That's
of gun
crazy.
violence was perpetrated by black men, but we know now it's not. It's the crackers out here shooting up niggas. But so what inspired this little episode of Having to Have Nots? My friend was telling me a story, and she was in her group chat talking to her friends, and one of the friends was, I guess, in line buying seafood, buying crab legs, and a person in front of her, maybe she was buying regular groceries, but a person in front of her
Oh, you just thought it was something bougie.
bought out, but a person in front of her bought out mad crab legs and paid for it with like an EBT card.
Oh,
Damn.
Yeah.
I know they accept EBT everywhere, but
for crab
for
legs?
crab legs?
How you feel about that? You be tight? Would you be tight if you couldn't afford the crab legs, working all that work you do, and knowing like some old broke down bitch in front of you was using her hard earned EBT that you pay for to eat glorious crab legs? Cause you know you love you some crab legs.
I ain't gonna hold you. I'm glad somebody working the system. Somebody got to do it. You know what I mean? Somebody got to work the system because, you know, things are just backwards out here. So I'm like, damn, you really easy EBT on crab legs? But I'm going to let it rock.
You know that Jewish people work that same system?
Absolutely. They're the masters
So
of it.
are you glad that people work in the system?
I'm glad one of us is working the system.
Wait, did they?
I'm glad.
Yeah, Jewish people
What?
get all those financial programs.
They're notorious for that, bro.
I didn't know that.
And then they skedaddle in the fucking G-Wagon right after.
Yep.
They break out that fucking...
They milk the system something crazy. And no one can say nothing about it because
Yeah.
anti-Semitism.
And these are niggas, I'll be standing in front of them or behind them in the grocery line, and they'll be swiping. They'll be like, let me know if it's covered. Otherwise, I'm going to take it off. Their grocery bill will be like $30, and they be complaining. And they're fucking paying for it with, like, assistance programs.
They milk the system something crazy. Crazy.
Just not realizing that.
And that's
I
why-
just always assumed they just had money.
That's
They
just
always have
kinda why-
the nicest stuff.
But
I didn't know they were out
I mean,
here
they wear
doing-
the same wigs. They don't really, you know, all them niggas look alike.
Well, aside from like the clothing, I meant like their cars are usually always nice.
But like I said,
Their housings are nice. They always own a lot of property.
but they really do scam. Like even like for some reason, I heard they don't have driver's licenses. They don't subscribe to the stuff we follow. They have like their own rules.
Their
and
communities
shit.
have their own like laws.
Yeah, they
set,
just
bro.
they do whatever the fuck they
I know
want.
that they have their ambulances and their polices.
Like completely
Yeah, secret
separate.
police. But this is why I think that society doesn't dislike them because of their religion or who they are. I feel like they're just fucking annoying. Like they're just taking advantage.
I mean,
And they could take advantage like that because they're still considered white.
but you know, it's crazy. If someone black does the same thing, they're considered like a stereotype. Oh, you're on welfare, this, that,
Yeah.
and third. Like, nah, bro. Majority of people that use welfare are not black. The people that take advantage of it are not black. So you know, it just sucks that people try to throw that on us as one of our stereotypes. And in all the ultimate case, everyone else does it more.
Yeah, most of the people on like welfare are white people.
It'd be the haves getting over and the have-nots can't get shit still.
Exactly.
That's just kind of how it is. Like when you need those programs, you can't get them, and if you don't, then yeah, here's some free money. You rolling off to sign up to get a fucking check and an Escalade, while the person on the subway pushing a baby carriage broke down, can't pay their rent, can't get an apartment, is like struggling to fucking get financial aid or help.
Shit, that reminds me of fucking when I was at Queensboro and like the hassle I had to do to get FAFSA and just go to school essentially for free to get the government to pay for it and all that work and all that stuff. And then I didn't want to be that dude that just mooched and didn't go to class. But the amount of people that didn't and just stayed in the student union, and I'm like, I bet you didn't work as hard to get this FAFSA as I did, and you out here just chilling. I'm out here trying to get A's, and you just chilling. That made me feel a type of way. I didn't go back in the student union because I was tired of them niggas.
I mean, I've seen both. I've seen both, but you know, for me, if I'm again, I mentioned the past episode, if I got that the bonus money that you get past the paying for your classes, I should have put it towards books. Definitely should have put it towards books. I saw when I was at LaGuardia,
You didn't buy any books?
I bought discounted books,
Oh, of course.
like supremely discounted online books. It was crazy.
As you should. Never pay for a textbook full price. Them shits are not worth it.
But you know, I did my class thing and everything like that. But like honestly, when I went to college, not even LaGuardia, when I got to Queens College, that was the first time I really experienced the difference between the haves and the have-nots. Because when I was in elementary school, junior high school, I was amongst my peers that, you know, predominantly from my neighborhood or neighborhoods like mine. It wasn't until I got to Queens College where it was like you can see the haves and the have-nots.
I think I saw it more in high school. I think the difference is way bigger in high school. I think once you start to go to college, you really don't give a fuck. Everybody just wears whatever they want. You know, it's not like, oh, that random old kid got the new Jordans. But in high school, smaller community, you see more of your peers getting fly or getting things that you can't get. I think it's more prevalent in high school. It's more noticeable because in high school, everything's like a popularity contest. So that stuff matters more.
But like for me in high school, it was a whole lot of have-nots still having the Jordans. Because it's like, all right, cool, you may have more than the person that don't have Jordans, but you still ain't got nothing. You know, it's just like your parents is like, all right, cool, you're going to look like you got money. But in all actuality, still paycheck to paycheck, and your living situation ain't the best.
I got a question to that. Is that very much a racial thing? Because a lot of the quote-unquote people that look like they did not have shit. They just misappropriated the funds into places where they probably shouldn't have gone. As opposed to the people that actually had it, aka I went to Bayside, so I was surrounded by the white people. They had money, but they always came to school in their pajamas and some flip flops and some slides.
Yeah, they ain't give a fuck.
Like, is it like racially down the line?
I think it is a cultural thing. I think that like we look at we look at Kanye and the way he dresses and some of the stuff he wears, and it's like this nigga got all that money. Why he choosing to put on that shit that make him look homeless? But that shit is, you know, millions of dollars worth of clothes. And then we look at, you know, other people with chains on, and like we know how much their outfits cost. The outfits look really good and really clean, and we know how much money they're spending on it. But at the end of the day, you have the other people, white people. You look at, like, you know, Tim Cook, and you look at Steve Jobs, nigga have a whole press conference and Skechers jeans and a regular fucking polo. You don't know where he got that shit from. Probably paid $100 for his whole outfit, but he's worth more. I think for some reason, like in our community, we want to look rich.
You know what I think it is that amongst the have-nots, we become competitive. We know we don't have, but we want to look like we have. So we, you know, put up this facade like, all right, cool, I'm gonna look like money, you know, in order for myself to be superior, knowing that, you know, I don't have, you know, because it's like amongst us, we adopt this superiority kind of idea. It's like, all right, cool, I'm not rich, or I'm not white, or whatever the case may be, all these brainwashed kind of things that we have. And it's like, all right, cool, but I got more money than you. I got more bread than you. I'm flyer than you. So therefore I'm superior to you. And that's trash. But I believe like it comes from not having for so long. It's like, all right, cool, let me just be better than the next guy. That makes me feel better about myself. I think that plays a hand in it.
Isn't it very much a learned behavior? Because it ain't like a 2-year-old's out here saying, I want Jordan 11.
Yeah, absolutely.
Size 2.
I think you want to fit in with your peers, so you start to see the things they wear and you like them, and you ask your parents. And even if they don't have necessarily, sometimes more parents, or sometimes parents have a little bit more extra income or a little bit more than the next person. Like, I wasn't really asking for that stuff except for around Christmas. That's when I try to shoot that shot. You know what I'm saying? See what I could get. But or your birthday. But other than that, during the school year, nah, it was quiet. Like, my mother was like, oh, we can get some new sneakers. I was like, oh, what? Let's see what I could get. I'm like, what's the budget looking like? But you know, but then that's when I, just like you said, I started working, and my work experience was different from yours, because I could do whatever the fuck I wanted with my money. My parents wasn't like, you can't get no job. They was like, you gonna get a job, nigga. But
I definitely think it's learned even from, like, you know, like the culture, you know, like rap artists, you know, they may or may not want to be role models, but at the end of the day, they're gonna excuse me, they're gonna be seen as role models. So if you know, a rapper has a gold rope chain, a kid's gonna try to want a gold rope chain. If he's rocking the cleanest Adidas or cleanest Jordans, or rapping about Jordans, whatever the case may be, you know, people from our culture, they're gonna try to emulate that, because, you know, they may not have more realistic role models, I guess. So it definitely is learned behavior. Yeah.
To follow up on that, were you like Don, where you'd only wait till like Christmas or your birthday to ask your parents, or that was just like, I'm not asking my parents. I know your mom. Your mom play no games. I doubt you ask her for some Jordans. I don't think she gonna get you some Jordans. She gonna get you some Shaqs from Payless.
Yeah.
But I don't think she out here gonna drop $150 on no J's.
You know, man, I have 2 older brothers before me, so they knew how to run game before me. So I was out here picking up like, okay, we getting Jordan. Like, you know, if my brothers were petitioning to my mom, and my mom cared too. And one thing about Haitian culture, it's all about appearance. They want their kids to look like, you know, they want chubby kids with nice clothes. Because when you chubby, you look like your fridge is full. You know, you're not starving at home. So nobody can say that, you know, your parents ain't got no money. So I think that, you know, my brother kind of played into that, and, like, you know, figured out how to pull the strings and make sure, you know.
Both of them. Them husky boys.
You know, Danny was definitely a trailblazer. He was a trailblazer. So I seen him. His closet was crazy. It was really, really crazy.
All y'all motherfuckers' closets are crazy.
I mean, the way we acquired our closets was different, though. Me and Steve worked more. We earned our dollar to get our closets a bit more than Danny did. So, pardon me.
damn, nigga, what they done?
Gotta edit that out. Let me spit real quick.
Hey, yo, don't spit.
Dead.
I ain't never had that shit. I've never asked anyone for a piece of clothing ever, or shoes or anything. Like I didn't start getting sneakers like people would actually not clown my ass for until like freshman year of high school. Until my sister's like, nah, I can't have you come to school looking like a hot mess. Like the first pair of dunks I got white Air Force Ones, I got some brown and green ones, and I think some red and black ones. I never had dunks before until freshman year of high school. And I had no sneaker etiquette. I still don't have no sneaker etiquette.
We know you don't. You have none at fucking all. You don't give a fuck about those shoes.
Seen shoes get rolled over behind.
Yo, this nigga does not care, boy.
My shoe etiquette.
Nah, but them 7s holding up though.
I'm surprised.
My shoe etiquette is very trial. Like, you got like good 3 weeks in me. I'm gonna treat them nice. After the 3rd week, these shits are shoes. I'm just gonna wear them.
I see that. I think their shoes are utilities to you. They're objects used so you don't have to walk around barefoot. Like other than that, they're just like, all right. Like I'll go on vacation. I'm like, all right, what shoes I'm taking on vacation? What outfits I got to go with these shoes? All right, let me pack these shits accordingly. Can't wear these shits too many days. I want to creep. Like that's how I think about it. But it's also from a point where I have shoes in my closet from high school still, and it's like, you know, I took care of those. Like I think it's two sides to the same coin, right? For your lack of having certain things, when you did get those things, they were still just kind of like whatever things to you. They're just shoes, right? But then you can also have where you have that I don't get these things often. I'm going to have these shits looking new for the entire time I have them. You're not going to know these shits is 2 years old.
Yeah. And
you know what I'm saying?
It's like you put it on a pedestal because you cherish it. Because, you know, for me, like, I didn't get Jordans until like high school, like myself. I had a pair of 15s that were like a year old, and I got them back or whatever. But once I got my first pair, I remember even before that, my white Air Forces, I got them in 7th grade. And boy, I was walking like a duck. I was doing it all. Walking like a duck. Every time I rocked them, took them off, Q-tip, alcohol pad, just wiping down the scuffs, all that kind of stuff.
Kept a little piece of cardboard in it?
No, I didn't do all that. I didn't do that. I should have, but I didn't.
I always put the cardboard and the paper tissue back in it.
But it was just like, you know, because you wanted it for so long, it's kind of like a little bit higher on a pedestal. And it's like that reaction you have from rocking that first time was like, yo, you get that, ooh, I see you, Jerry. Oh, okay. Nah, I thought his outfit's fire today. It's like, you know, that whole feeling, nothing, you know, it's very hard to repeat that or emulate that. But you want to keep those sneakers as clean as possible so you could be associated with it or whatever the case may be. So when I was a kid, like when I was in elementary school, my brothers always run like, yo, you beat down your sneakers. You can't even get sneakers because you're going to run over them in 2 weeks, this, that, and the third. Until, like, you know, I started to like girls. I'm like, girls like niggas that have clean sneakers.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. We'll keep these sneakers clean. You know, but even that, it was something that I had to learn. How to not crease your sneakers, how to avoid scuffs. And all of it, at the end of the day, is just stuff to protect your feet from the ground. You know, that's something that I know and accept now. So, like me now, if I get a pair of sneakers, I'm going to rock them. You know? I may clean them like once a season, but I'm going to rock them.
What about you, Don? Where did your sneaker etiquette come from?
My sneaker etiquette came from my dad. Like, he likes sneakers. He always taught me how to clean them, whatever the case may be. But it was like a sense of when you start buying them yourself and you know how much they cost, it's like, all right, I'm going to take care of these shits. Yeah. You know, because I remember going to high school, getting a pair of fucking black Air Forces, serial killer joints.
Wait. You was out here robbing niggas?
Nah,
yeah,
everyone has had a pair of black Air Forces in junior high school level.
You had to. I had to. You had to have the black. You had to have the white.
Yep. The black was everyday use. The white was for special occasions.
And I had a pair of dunks, 2 pairs of dunks, and I just like knew how to switch them out, knew how to rock it. You had certain outfits that really slapped with the combo, so you had to drop it every other month. You hit them with that one because you got to wear it. It's hot. You can't wear it again ASAP because niggas gonna remember that.
Can't wear it out, you know.
So then you just you hit them in the head like a month and a half later.
Strategic trip.
You know you're gonna have a gift. You need a get fly moment. You know that's a go-to outfit right there. You gotta
wait for Friday. You know what I mean? Where boom.
You gotta throw that shit on.
I have tried to be nicer. Like with the Jordans, I've probably worn those 9 times since you've given them to me. Most of the time, they stay in the box. It's only recently I've taken them out the box, and I think the longest I wore them was like the past 2 days. I wore them like twice, back to back. I wore them. I wore them here, and I think I wore them the other day. But normally, when I like something, I'm gonna wear the shit out of it until they don't even look like I like them anymore. Like if you see my Doc Martens, the amount of work I put on them bad boys, they ain't got no tread left.
I seen them
There's holes in the shit. My feet be swishing.
I be looking at like, are those Docs? I don't think it's Docs.
I was looking at those shits.
Yeah. Nah, but I respect that side of things too, because it's like you miss out on life if you just collect things and never enjoy them.
That's true.
That's why I take my Funkos out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm the same way. But pulling bad boys out.
They're staying in the box.
Let me see all the detail on them, huh?
Staying in the box. But that's kind of funny because like we talk about the haves and the have-nots, and my niece definitely is a have. She has multiple people who could get her multiple things that she wants. Like she doesn't really want for anything. She's not greedy, which I I enjoy. I like. I just wish she would take better care of her sneakers.
So, should we define a have and a have not? Because what's crazy? I never considered myself a have not up until preparing for this episode. But I think back to my childhood. I've come home where there's no electricity. I've come home where there's no heat. I've come home like one time I remember waking up in the morning and I was taking my morning piss on a frozen toilet.
That's wild.
It was crazy. But I never considered myself a have not up until preparing for this episode.
Nigga, it was that cold that the toilet water froze.
Yeah, but again, on par with that, right? But we had 2 bathrooms. That was a downstairs bathroom. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, do I consider myself a have or a have not? Because I know a lot of people that were not as fortunate as me. But I know that again, numerous times I walked to my crib and the electricity wasn't on. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Numerous times my parents arguing about.
But you have a house though, so that's why you're like,
exactly.
Am I really a have not?
Where do I fall?
Yeah.
So like, can we define that? How do we define that?
I would think that a have is a person who's never experienced any hardships growing up or at this stage of life.
Like financially, or
yeah, financially. Like if you've never experienced, not sure what you're gonna eat, if your lights are gonna be on or off, hot water, your phone bill and stuff getting
never
paid.
had to boil hot water, man.
If you're not sure if your phone bill is gonna get paid, if it's a lot of uncertainty around financial things or household things, at one point in your life or another, then I would say you're a have. If you just born,
okay, fair,
just getting whatever you want, that's a have. If you have not is like I said, you've had a lot of trials and tribulations. You've seen and experienced certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, again, my niece is a have. She'll never be able to be like, oh, the hot water wasn't working, and I used to, have to sleep in my jacket because it was cold. Like, unless her apartment is like, oh, we're gonna cut off all the water in the building today for maintenance, she ain't never gonna experience no life like that. You know what I'm saying? So it just was like, you made a phone call before back in the day. Like you make a phone call, you get that beep boop, that noise, oh, my shit off.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
All right, yo, when I'm getting my phone bill paid, maybe about 3-4 weeks. Oh, all right, fuck it.
Yeah, man. I think it's a good definition because, like I felt like I could have easily told my story, tell my story to people and like, oh, yeah, that happened to me too, So I feel like I had a lot of peers, Like I remember, there was no electricity in my crib. I just went to a friend's house, stayed there longer than I would, play video games just to, do all that kind of stuff. But I remember I guess I felt like I saw someone that had more in college, like in Queens College, because I was hanging out with a circle of friends that went to St. Francis Prep. Ugh. And St. Francis Prep is like $60K a year for high school, So I remember going to a friend.
Fuck them having ass niggas.
I remember going to a friend's house, one of the friends' house. I'm just like, yo, this is like Jamaican States, all that. I'm like, yo, like fountain, like angels pissing into a fountain, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, yo. And that was like the first time I'm like, okay, this is a different type of life. I remember when again in Queens College, I was the only one leaving to go to work. I was the only one leaving like, all right, cool, I gotta go. About to cough again. My bad, y'all. Yeah.
To buy you some halls.
I should have brought my halls. But yeah, I remember I was the only one that had to go to work because everyone else had a car. I was the only one using a Metro card. You know, so all of that was like, all right, cool. Y'all could graduate in 4 years because all you have to do is go to school.
Yeah.
Me, I have to pay for a Metro card. I have to pay for that breakfast. I have to pay for the lunch we eating in the SU. That was me. I didn't get allowance. And hanging out with people that, you know, only worked by choice, you know, it was just different. So I think that was like, you know, the time that I was like, yo, okay, I didn't live that life. That wasn't me, you know, and it kind of makes me think about, where could I be if I had the benefits that they have? You get what I'm saying? Like what would it be like if I didn't have to do nothing but just go to school?
You'd probably be a fucking pro athlete.
Nah.
You probably would have
Maybe
made it to
maybe
college athlete.
maybe football.
I wouldn't say
maybe football. Maybe football.
You wasn't even playing organized sports then.
Because you have to pay for those sports.
Okay, you saying from at birth if you had money?
Yeah.
If he was Master P's son instead of
No, them niggas ain't nobody's now.
I mean,
They-
They got
bread.
money.
They got
They got their dad's money. They have a little bit of their own money, but it's like,
that done tried to do a whole bunch of things. They ain't successful at it. They tried though.
listen, we all. I mean,
Have you had that experience where you've gone into? All of us are have-nots. We've come from have-nots.
By
Have you
definition,
gone
given.
into a space where you've been into a room for the first time with a bunch of haves, and how did that feel internally? That makes sense.
I don't think I've ever had the experience like Jerry, but there's at one point where like I was in high school where like two of my friends from that time, they both had cars in high school. Well, three actually cars in high school. And I was like, what the fuck, you niggas is driving to school? Like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
and I thought it was dope. Like, they gave me a ride a couple times, whatever case may be, but it wasn't never like, I wasn't never like, oh man. It never really impacted my life in the sense of I was depressed or I was sad. I was just like, I know I wasn't getting no fucking car in high school. It is what it was. Like, I ain't had no money for that shit. We ain't had no money for that shit. It was what it was. But I think like if we did have money like that, then would it have changed us? Like, what group of people would we have been hanging out with then? Because those people kind of tended to gravitate towards each other. Like, you may have one or two who ended up in a circle, but for the most part, those rich fucking kids gravitated towards each other. So do I want to be one of those rich kids? Because some of them were jerks. I don't even know if any of them are doing anything with their lives now. Like, I've
Just
never
mooching off their parents' success.
I've never met an adult person from St. Francis Prep. Like, at this age, I've never met someone who's like, yeah, I went to St. Francis Prep. You know, I'm a doctor now, whatever. Never.
No, it's probably because we ain't a tax bracket. So we don't run into them.
They're really in a different circle.
They're in that eyes wide shut circle. We in that let's cross the street when it turns white man says so bracket. Yeah. My thing is I didn't start getting into those rooms until I was fully into the workforce and I was working for these people. I was doing events where these people were at and seeing how, oh my God, I feel like top 5 worst feelings in this world is to shake a rich man's hand because there's no labor on that hand and it just feels so slimy.
You always say this.
It is the most disgusting feeling ever.
It's like grotesque.
To touch someone's hand that doesn't have any calluses or any hard work on it, you're just like, how are you you? Like, how are you this person? Like, ugh. Like, I remember, like, one of the worst experience I had was working in this rich white people club in Midtown and just how they look at you. Like, they look through you. They don't even see you. Like, you're just there. You're like an ornament in the background. You're not a person. You're not a thing. You are just there to do what they want and do not speak or do not do anything. Do not look like you. If you look any way looking like a minority, they'll make a complaint. Like, the only time I used to do temping and I'll do some serving work and the place was called, New York Athletic Club. And the only time I ever got a complaint in my life of doing any work was when I did a shift there and they commented on my hair. They made me take out my earrings. Like, the day after I got it pierced, I had to take my earrings out because I couldn't have them. And I don't wear flashy earrings. I wear, like, loops, the most basic earrings ever, and I had to take them out. And they also complained about me having essentially a 5 o'clock shadow because I didn't have a beard then. I was trying to. I didn't know I had to look clean and proper for this. I was not given that word. So I just came in looking clean and proper from down, my face not so much. And like the next day, my boss just calls me and told me I'm not invited to come back here, or I got a complaint and I'm not going to be sent to come here anymore. I was like, cool. I don't want to be here anyway. I hate all these niggas. But the one time, just seeing how little they respect you is just, I can't ever forget it. Like every time I get into one of those rooms, I get heated because fuck all them people. Fuck all of them. I can't stand the haves. They piss me off because they don't appreciate the having that they have. They just take that shit for granted. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Damn.
I feel like it's a fire. That was fire.
Listen, I'm not mad at it. I ain't mad at it at all.
How much we laid down?
Jerry always asks us right in the middle of the episode that I don't have to edit this shit out. 37.
I don't want to do this shit.
That was good. That was real good.
But like, it's just so weird because I went to Bayside, and like I said, the white people, the ones that had money, that had both parents. I'm guessing they had a good marriage because talk about divorce then. But they were the bummiest people ever. They came to school like they woke up out of bed.
They didn't have to prove nothing.
They didn't have to prove nothing.
Yeah.
All the minorities always came to school like it was a fashion show.
Because they had to prove something.
You had a stunt.
Yeah.
You got the new True Religion jeans, you bring them. Tag on it so you know it's not fake.
Yeah.
Hans remembers.
Fucking
Hans remembers.
dude, like it was insane. Like the amount of effort minorities had to go through.
Yeah.
They have to flaunt whatever little they have, otherwise we're just going to assume they have nothing.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy when you meet those people again at a different junction in your life point. Like as opposed to like, you graduate high school, we graduated in 09. Like 10 years later at 30 or 25, you see one of those people walking around and they just look hit. And it's just like, look at God. But it's kind of like, but it's just kind of like, yo, all of that, like you looked up to them or you admired them or you somewhat wanted what they had. And then it kind of was like, because there's been like some kids who weren't attractive. They just dressed nice. Mm-hmm. And that kind of was all it took. You dressed nice.
Till this day.
You dressed nice and you had a big mouth. If you got a lot of attention, that was it. Mm-hmm. But that shit, when you hit adult age, when it's time to start adulting, that shit don't really work.
I mean, I think a part of that is whatever they were willing to do at that point, they thought that would sustain them for a long time. And then, like, all right, cool, that's high school. Then college bred different. Adult bred way different. So whatever you said, all right, cool, I'ma not go to school and not do this, then the third, and do whatever it means to get bread, and that stunts your growth for later on. Listen, I'm with the tortoise versus the hare, right? Baby steps, baby steps. You getting it now? You getting it now? But I'll be damned if my prime was in my teen years. I'll be damned.
Slow and steady.
I'm a firm believer the best days are yet to come.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Wait, you think you in high school was your prime?
No.
He's saying he'd be damned if that was. He's saying some people blew their load in high school. Yeah. That was it. That was it. That was it for them.
I didn't believe that.
Like, what's 50 say? Damn, homie.
In high school, you was the man, homie. What the fuck happened to you? But some people blew their load. I think a lot more girls blew their load in high school than niggas though. But a lot of them ain't doing nothing still.
You know what? When our brothers taught me, like certain statures of women were not sustainable. He was just like, yo, like, understand, certain girls gonna look fire in high school, hit by 23.
Because they're already fire.
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
you can't get no more fire.
And it's just like, it's gonna fall off, So, just a case that goes for that, as well as the things that made you popular in high school and those kind of things.
I think, not to cut you off, I think in high school, it was more acceptable and it was okay to be like a fly bum.
Yeah,
I don't think that shit is flying at this age.
Not
like
at all.
Fly bums, and I know they exist, I think once they're exposed, it's all downhill from there.
Mhm.
Because there are some girls now who kind of still like fly bums because they feel like if that nigga's fly, then he has money and I could potentially get fly. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But eventually, that fly bum doesn't have nothing else to offer. There's no conversation behind it. There's no growth as a person. It's just like, you know,
mean-
the nigga just dresses nice.
A fly bum is still a bum, and a bum's gonna attract a bum chick. You know, long term at least. You know, a fly bum may be able to capture a quality young lady's eye, but as you were saying, it won't be able to sustain because it's like, you know, it's like a gold spray painted apple that's rotten on the inside. Bite into that joint, you're gonna throw up. You know, so but a lot of fly bums out here still doing their thing. So out here on the train, you know, looking fly
That's
as
what I'm
ever.
saying. Who wants to? Listen,
Margiela is on.
I'd rather have my car, sweatpants, Crocs, and a blank T-shirt. At least I got my car. Than be on the fucking train or the bus. That's just me personally.
That's a fact.
Now, if you live in a city and it's not convenient for you to have a car, if you got, you know, good transportation around you, you got a nice apartment, then cool, I'm jacking it. Because would I trade in my car for that? Yeah, I would.
But I think you put in a good point there. Nice apartment.
Yeah.
You know, people like, what's your living situation like?
Yeah.
Hey, you come out the crib fly, but my nigga, your living situation looking a little sketchy.
Yeah.
You ain't even got your own room.
One girl told me a story that she was going on a date and she met this guy, and the nigga dressed fly, dressed nice. She went back to the crib. Nigga, horror show.
I mean, that's what it. You know, just like Hans was talking about a couple episodes ago, you could fumble. You know, certain things are just automatic fumble.
Listen,
You
that's
know?
something I would never. I'd go get a hotel or something. I'm not. If you know your apartment is looking like that, my brother, come on, that's crazy.
But again, he might have sealed the deal with previous shorties that made him feel confident in this one. He was like, "Yo, son, the track, all right, cool. She ain't gonna mind. I already got it in the bag." Then boop, I'm like, nah, I can't do this.
that makes me wonder the type of bitches this nigga was fucking with.
Bum niggas get bum chicks.
I'm going to segue off of that because I have another question, and it's probably more broader. You guys are exceptions because you guys were have-nots who saw those who at least had or flaunted having, and you guys got on your grind early to get what you wanted without having to rely on other people. But do you think that runway type of mindset of always having to be on the runway looking your best and always having the flyest stuff, do you think that's toxic in and of itself?
It depends why you're doing it. I think it's about the sort, like, you know, why are you doing it? Are you doing it consistently for the approval of other people? If that's the case, then yeah, it's toxic. If you're doing it consistently to validate yourself or earn people's respect, then yeah, it's toxic.
Well, let me kind of hone it in more. Is it toxic to put this on the brains of children who are still forming, to where you indoctrinate them to this lifestyle that you guys necessarily can't keep up, even though you guys do your best to do so, while letting other things fall to the wayside? Because now this kid's going to grow up thinking how I'm successful is how I look, not how I am or how I act or how I relate to people. It's just how I look. If I have a nice pair of Jordans, I'm successful because they're nice and they look clean. Or if I have the Gucci belt or the Fendi whatever saddlebag or whatever. But at the end of the day, you're still a have-not with a surface, an exterior that says have. Is that not toxic? Would you rather your kids know that they don't have anything and then, I guess, formulate and grow up to be kind of like how you guys are, went out and got it their own?
So, no, I don't want my kids to really have to work for anything, for the simple fact that sometimes it takes a lot off a plate that you could be doing instead. Like, I've been working since high school, like crazy hours, overtime hours. Like, I'm trying to get that check, and I like money, so it's either go get this check or go to school and then maybe have to, you know what I'm saying? I always chose money first. That just was my mindset. Now, had the money already been provided, had all of those things already been there, it was like, you don't gotta go, you don't gotta work. I want you to focus on school. I want you to bring these grades in, or I want you to get these type of jobs. Then I'd be like, oh, all right, cool, say less. Because I knew everything else was going to be covered, was going to be taken care of. So, like with my niece, it's like, I don't expect her, She doesn't want for anything, but she's not a kid where she not gonna come looking dumb or talking dumb, bringing dumb grades home and think I'm gonna go spend bread. That's not gonna happen. So she'd be like, "Oh, can I get a new phone?" I'll be like, "Yeah, but that report card looking like."
So you build the hard work through the schoolwork as
Yeah.
opposed to building the hard work through going out and getting a job.
Because that's how it was for me in school. Like if I wanted my dad to buy me something, and I knew I didn't need it right away. I'm like, listen, I want these shoes. Can you get me this? Or I want this video game. Could you give me that? He was like, all right, bring me back home this many test grades with this score on it, and I'm gonna see what I could do. So like I didn't always have the fly stuff, but I would 9 out of 10. I was always one of the top 5 kids, smartest kids in the class. So that helped. That I was smart. I could get what I wanted later on, and I was good. Like to me, like clothes is cool, but I wanted my phone bill paid. I wanted my sidekick. I wanted my video games. That's what I like. That's what I wanted, and they took care of that stuff for me if I did what I had to do.
Yeah, and I like 1,000% agree. 'Cause I feel like the question you asked is a very loaded question. First things first, I believe that a kid should understand how the world works. Period. Everything's earned, nothing's given. But it is my job as a parent to make sure that they don't start from the same point that I started out at. So if I could afford them a better level of life than I had as a kid, I'm gonna let them work from there. You get what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be unreasonable, be reasonable. Just like when it comes to grades. As a child, you have but so many responsibilities. How you do the responsibilities can get you rewarded. You know, you're gonna be taken care of. Like I remember this one kid from the YMCA, fly kid, sweetest kid ever though, mad polite, says hi to everybody, always had a clean cut, always had new sneakers, and he was like, yo, Mike is mad fly, this, that, and third, and everyone would say, yeah, but he deserves it, he earned it, great grades, parents say like he does his thing, and he's an amazing young man. I mean, to the point that I knew him, an amazing young man. Nothing, no one can say anything negative about him. I'm not trying to implement that, but I do believe that that method of showing the kid, like, if you work your butt off, you know, doors will open for you. Not every door, but things will happen for you. Now, when it comes to like society or whatever the case may be, where people are dressing like red carpet all the time or runway all the time, let those people do whatever they gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if niggas is going to the Met Gala and them niggas is fly, if niggas going to the VMAs and niggas is fly, niggas in rap videos.
I'm not talking about rich people. I'm talking about the have-nots who go outside every day, who think it's a runway when what they have at home is shit.
Are they?
But
pretending?
what they present, yes, they're pretending.
So
is that toxic?
The thing is,
absolutely.
The thing is, as a parent, right? We're talking about from a perspective of, like, say we're in high school, because we saw it the most in high school. I want to say, because as we got older, you know, we chose different friends. We chose people who are more in our economic bracket or whatever the case may be. Like, we not out here, you know, it's different in high school. But at that point, it's the parents' responsibility.
I agree.
If, like, he talked about that kid Mike, you said his parents bought him all this stuff, but he had good grades and he had all this stuff. 9 out of 10 of those kids, my friend hates when I use the 9 out of 10 of those sisters. 6 out of 10 kids,
most kids,
right? 6 out of 10 kids who was doing that, who was getting fly, who just was, you know, they look good on the outside, but on the inside they was trash. That comes from being at home. Like, if I come home and my grades is trash, the school's calling saying I'm not coming to school. When I do come to school, I'm not performing well. If the school is telling the parents all of this, and your main thing is, all right, let me go get up and let me go get them the Gucci's, or let me go get them the Louis, or let me go get them the Prada sneakers. If you're a parent and that's what you're doing, then it's your fault your kid is performing the way they are.
You're instilling the wrong values.
Because, yes, a kid is going to ask, but you don't have to say yes. Unless they out there stealing it, unless they got their own job and they're getting it themselves, then as a parent, if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, why would you go put that bread up and you put that stuff on their body, and now they're starting to learn that, oh, I look good, that's enough for society, but you don't got nothing else to offer. Because we always thought the same thing, like, oh, those sneakers is nice, oh, those are some nice sneakers, and then that kid open their mouth, you be like, this nigga dumb as fuck.
It's rewarding negative behavior. So this kid's gonna grow up thinking, as long as I look good, that's all that really matters. You know, because my parents made sure that I look good, and that's all that really mattered. My grade didn't matter. My how I treated people didn't matter. So, it honestly, even if you're a parent going to school, the PTA meetings, and you're a parent that's a doctor, you come through flower, Louis out, all that kind of stuff. Do you think? Because you worked for it, you know. But it's all about, like, it. You know, the first teachers is the home that you grew up in. That's the first place you learn anything. So, have or have not Gucci or Skechers, whatever the case may be. Not most of the time, the household that you're raised in, let's say 9 times out of 10, most of the time, the household that you're raised in is going to instill the values that you carry out.
Yeah, and it also just depends on the person because not to name drop, but I know 2 people who grew up in the same household, went to high school at the same time, night and day. Same parents, night and day. One is materialistic, other one's not materialistic. One got good grades, other one don't get good grades. Mm-hmm. It's just once your parents instill the values and the core, then it's up to you to decide what you're gonna do with it after. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because those Jordans, those Pradas, everything go in and out of style and shit get old quick. So yeah, you want to rock, you fly for a week, but them shits is old news now. Like the Prada sneakers, everybody wanted those shits, and then what happened? They fizzled out, died out.
I remember
they came back recently.
Yeah, they came.
They're trying to come back.
Yeah, they're trying to come back right now.
I know them niggas who had 4 or 5 pairs in their closet was like,
they was waiting for it.
Yeah, they was waiting for that come back around. But I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm like. There's really no other way to describe it than the simple fact of it's here today, gone tomorrow. When it's all said and done, when I strip you to your bare bones form, what do you have to offer me? What do you have to offer in this world?
I think that goes on par with Kendrick Lamar's track when he's like, take off the you're out of pocket. That track, he was
Didn't listen.
Huh?
I didn't get through.
I mean, but the album's fire. Hans don't like conscious rap at all. But that's R&B and conscious rap. But
I got my struggles. I ain't trying to take on your struggles, Kendrick.
No, but he's speaking on behalf of society. Even with this podcast right here, this episode right here, it's ringing home. It's ringing home, man. It's ringing home. But even that track, he's like, all right, cool. Take away the Instagram followers. Take away the Louis and Gucci. What do you got? And he's like, you ugly AF. You out of pocket. Like, yo, son. And he's talking about not only the physical appearance, but also, the heart and the soul of a person. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, especially what Hans was talking about, when he was at this job, he probably seen the ugliest people. Not ugly in terms of
fucking troll looking ass motherfuckers.
Not only in physical appearance, but like their hearts were probably ugly.
I ain't never seen as many turkey giblet necks in my life.
I mean,
out here looking like a walrus. Fuck y'all.
That right there kind of sounded haterish, but
I don't care.
Hans do not like niggas with money. He does not.
Well, you don't like people that don't work hard. He ain't got the problem with people with money. Like, if he like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That's a hard one.
I love The Rock. We just say light skin tan status. That's all. Big light skin tan status. I got another question though.
Hans with the question.
I like.
Ooh.
It's just coming to my brain. I like to think of you guys. You flipped it. You're more haves than have-nots now, and your mindsets have changed the haves with your work ethic, and you go get the things that you have. Do you know when that flipped for you?
You know what I'm gonna say? Honestly, I don't think it ever flipped. Because I grew up in a household where every morning I went to school, my mom wasn't there because she was already at work. Every other day my dad wasn't home because he was at work. So I grew up in a household where in order to put food on the table, niggas was working, period. So I remember my brother got a job at 14 working at Petland Discount. I remember my other brother got a job at like 15 or 16 working in the sneaker store, working in so I came from a house of people that, all right, cool. If I want something, I have to go get the money for it.
So you came from a house full of Haitians?
I came from a house full of Haitians. I came from a Haitian household. Niggas knew how to work. We were not unfamiliar to hard work. So I remember when I was in college, like one of my closest friends didn't have to work for anything. You get what I'm saying? Like he didn't have to work for anything. I'm like, yo, on one end, it was like, it was frustrating because he was kind of like waiting for things to happen. He felt entitled. And on the other hand, it might have been a little bit of jealousy because I had to work my butt off just to get here. You get what I'm saying? And you could just roll out of bed, breakfast paid for, gas money paid for, and it kind of stings. But like that's something that is a part of reality. But I don't think it was ever a moment where it switched. I remember like all right, cool, I want sneakers. My parents ain't got enough money for sneakers. So what I gotta do? Make sandwiches? What I gotta do? Buy vintage polos off of eBay and sell them. I did that, so
hustle man over here.
Yeah, I did a couple things, but I don't think it was ever a switch.
I think for me personally, it just was. I don't like asking people for money. I don't like asking people for financial stuff. Even if I'm down bad, then I ask my family. But just for me in school, and it basically was like I'm tired of my phone getting cut off. I'm gonna go get my own phone on. I'm taking care of my shit myself because when people are paying for stuff or you're underneath somebody else's name, then you're at their whim.
Yeah.
I like
doing you a
being
favor.
I like being in control of shit. So if I'm doing fuckery and my shit get fucked up, I like to know it's because of me that my shit got fucked up.
And you're in control to fix it.
Right. I'm gonna be annoyed if my shit get fucked up because somebody else. Because I don't have no control over that. So from the moment I got my first job, I ain't never looked back.
I mean, Hans, you call us halves, but in terms of work ethic, you work just as hard as we do. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, you may look at us as halves, but my nigga, like when it comes to work ethic, you're working just as hard as us.
I don't know how to respond to that because yes, I do work hard, but I also don't always work smart, and I don't always funnel my work into the places it needs to be funneled. Like I can't look at myself as a have. I still feel like I'm a have not. Even at 29, I feel like I wake up every day and I'm just like, yo.
But I want to let you know that you have what it takes to have. You get what I'm saying? You have all the pieces that are required to have. Like you graduated on the dean's list. Before pandemic, you were working like 3 or 4 jobs while pursuing an acting career.
I was doing all that and I barely made bills. Or I got to the point where it's so hard for me to ask for help or to ask for money, in that I've been told no a lot, especially in times of need, to where I don't want to ask no more.
You don't want to get that no again.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah, the rejection.
Yeah.
I knew from young I was not going to get Jordans. I was not going to look fly. I was not going to get any of those things. So there's no reason for me to ever ask for those things. And I didn't start becoming good at school until college. I didn't start becoming good at school until senior year of high school, when I did not want to get left back. I did not want to be the super senior. So I had to put the work in because I didn't want to be that person. I'm going to look like a bum. I'm always going to look like a bum.
No, you're not.
I'm sorry. I don't care that much about fashion as much as other people do. But I can't seem to put myself in a clear path to success. I feel like I'm always divulging or diverging from paths that may be money making or me successful, quote unquote, whatever someone deems successful. But
episode coming soon.
For some reason, I always trip and fall. Like when I got the temp job, I could have been the assistant for my boss, but I said no because I want to pursue acting. So I just said no to that money. Or Don, the amount of times Don's put me onto jobs to go sign up for, like I took the TSA on you. I paid for it, did the exam, went in, and I got like right up to like the first interview process, and it was time for the phone call, and I ignored it. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to do acting. So let me go put my eggs in acting baskets. And I don't know if that was the right decision.
Bro, you did not trip. I want to take that off the table. You didn't trip. You made a decision as a grown man. That was dope. You put your eggs in your own damn basket and said, I believe in myself enough to say no to this sure job that probably paid me the most money that I ever seen to this point.
Shit, the most money I made was during the pandemic on unemployment, and that boosted shit. That's the most money I've made on like a weekly basis in my entire life.
But, you know, even that being said, like people wish they could have took the risk on themselves. People wish they could have did what you did. You get what I'm saying? People that have the money. They wish like, yo, if I was 23 again, I would have done things differently. So I'm proud of you for doing that. You know, you graduated with a degree. You could apply for the TSA job at any point. You get what I'm saying? These options aren't going anywhere. But your ability to pursue a career, that may be a door that may be open or closed depending on the season. So I don't want you. I mean, we all question, am I putting too much confidence in myself and in my dream? We all ask that, especially if we haven't made it yet. But in my opinion, that's the only life worth living, where you take the risks. You get what I'm saying?
But when do you stop?
I
When
think
do you say enough is enough?
I think only when it starts costing others.
I think we all get to a point where we decide like when we've had enough. So you can get to the point where like I was at the point where I've been working at my job for like 7 years already, right? And I was like, I'm good. I don't want to really take no other tests. I don't really want to do any other jobs. I'm good. Everything's comfortable here. And I got really comfortable and I got stagnant. But then recently I was like, okay, I'm awake again. I'm tired of this shit. Let's go start applying. So like when you said you turned down the job, I turned down going to school because when I started working at TSA back before I left, it was kind of like, all right, you guys have TSA finals, you have the test on this day, and then I have my regular finals on the same day. I was like, get money, get an education. Let's get this money. So school always gonna be there, and it's even easier now because you can do everything online now. Mm-hmm. That's even better for me.
You could do it at work.
Yeah.
While you making money.
But I just think it just depends on the person. Whenever you wake up and you be like, you know what? I had enough. It's time to do something else. Or it's time to get this money when I can and then, then do like the acting thing. That's why like when I send you jobs, it'd be jobs where you can pretty much do part-time, or if you want to pick up more shifts, you can pick up more shifts and you still have that leeway to do the things that you want to do. Because I think like if you're working 4, 5, 6 jobs, that might make it harder to do acting as opposed to one part-time job. And you'd be like, on Mondays and Tuesdays, I'm dedicated to my acting stuff. Like I'm not going to work.
Like for example, like firemen work 3-4 days straight, and the rest of the week they're off. So like I know people that do that, and then the rest of the time they're pursuing their passion.
Tried.
I mean, bro, try again. I mean,
that's it, man. We ain't dead yet.
We out here to motivate, man. Because honestly, Hans, you may consider us halves, but I consider myself still a have not. If I lose my job today, I'm assed out. Me and my wife are assed out.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that's not having. That's making it barely. You get what I'm saying? Like, what do I own? A Mac and a camera. That's all I got. And some like wedding jewelry. That's all I got. What do I have? And all those things depreciate over time. I got some stock too, but stock market crazy right now. But yeah, but you get my point. So I appreciate you considering us halves, but when we look at ourselves, there are still things that we are striving for within ourselves.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this world that I need to, to get together, to focus on, to maintain. Like honestly, truly, I would love to be able to be like, all right, I'm not doing this shit. I'm gonna go drive around the city and pick up, floor mats and shit. I know that's not what you want to be doing, but I think it, like Jerry said, it takes more courage to put your eggs in your basket of this is what I want to do. I believe in myself. I'm gonna go try it. But we all know, like being an artist, they call it starving artist for a reason. We all know that's like one of the hardest passions and one of the hardest things to pursue because you're not always gonna have that support. Not every job is gonna be fucking fruitful or lucrative. It really is a struggle, and the fact that you haven't given up, I think, is dope too. Because there's people who give up, all the time. There's people at my job who give up, like, the mandations get a little bit crazy or certain things get crazy, and they have to make a decision on, what's best for them. That's just the world we live in right now, where nothing is fucking easy. And especially if you're a single man or you're not a single man, but when you're a black man or you're a person who's doing it on your own, you're the major breadwinner of your life, then things are always going to be a little bit more difficult. You're always going to second guess that decision a little bit more. And I kind of get it. It's like,
we don't have that freedom. We don't have that safety net.
Yeah. Like if I do this, will it mess up something else? Or if I do that, will it mess up something else?
Is it worth the risk?
Right.
And it's crazy because, a couple episodes ago, I mentioned the word failure and both y'all niggas jumped down my neck.
Yeah.
And encouraged me. That was like tough, aggressive love. And I feel like I have to give that back to Hans because Hans is like, failure in what?
I think you're only a failure if you give up.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're only a failure if you give up. There's tons of people, like we talked about professional students, right? There's tons of people who have a dream, they want to follow the dream, but they're scared to. And I don't think you were scared to. Like, it's harder than maybe you thought it might have been, but at the end of the day, you're still doing what you got to do. You're still breathing. I feel like if you're still breathing, there's still time to try.
Yep. I think it's dope.
And then like Jerry said, you have like everything you have. Like all of the jobs that you can sign up for that I can help you with are not going no place. Honestly, they're not, because nobody wants those fucking jobs. And they're not going no place. Like you have your degree, and I think that's dope. I wish I could be like, oh, I got my degree, so I always got something to fall back on, because you always kind of do got something to fall back on.
You know what, Hans? You know, some people say like they would sell their soul for a career when they will sell the thing that they're really passionate about for that 9 to 5. So I just want you to know that you're a person that did not sell their soul. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, like I never, like, I know you may think it, but me and Don are not gonna let that fly where you start to second guess your decisions, especially when it comes to something that you're passionate about, as acting. Because when we see you up on stage and doing your thing, we feel like, yo, son, this is Hans. Like, when I talked to Joy, she was like, yo, so once he started acting, that's when it was just like, yo, Hans was, like, that's when it just, like, clicked for you.
Yeah.
So,
like going to Denmark, son. You don't just
like, come on,
son.
That's dope, son. Like, that's, like, tremendously dope. And we haven't talked about it on the podcast, but that's a dope investment. You're investing into yourself. You're investing into your dream. And there are people that are twice your age that make 3-4 times more money than you make in a year, and they wish they could do what you do, like the path that you're taking, and it's immensely dope. I mean, I feel like it, but it is.
Yeah, what he said.
It's so weird, because the things that y'all look at in me and big up and show love for, I look into y'all for the opposite. Like, I see all the vacations you go on, and I'm like, yo, I want to do that. Like, going to Mexico, that was so much fun, and all the chaos that it was. I would not trade that in for anything. It was so much fun. But, like, right now, going to Denmark, I don't even feel prepared. Like, I have no money. Like, I'm broke. Beyond broke. And like going to Mexico, I saved up. From like the minute he told me we were going, I'm like, all right, I'm going. Fuck, stop crying. And this should be that, but it doesn't. It doesn't feel like that. This feels like a shift. Like, if this doesn't go the way it's supposed to go, I'm done.
I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. That sounds like when everyone does something, I feel like they have that moment, that breaking moment, you know? And you're saying yes to it with no money in your pocket. Somebody else would be like, nah, I really can't swing that. I really can't. I can't be in a place I've never been before. I know nobody.
Shit, I couldn't do that shit.
Bro, that requires so much courage, bro. So much courage. And it's dope. Even at the point that you recognize, like, yo, if this ain't it, I don't know what I'm going to do. That sounds like it may feel like shit, but that's an adventure. That's all a part of the story, bro. You know?
I just need to know how this fucking story ends, because I'm tired of reading the shit.
Man, we all do. We all want to know at least the next chapter.
Life is a journey.
It's
a fucking, it's an unrelenting, winding path.
It's so crazy, because I had this. I like to think of it now because I've done a lot of introspection since the pandemic. Well, I've done a lot of introspection since y'all left, because I'm there alone a lot.
But I don't know. It's like, you know, you talk about like the vacations and stuff. I think again, growing up how we grew up and being who we are in this world, whether you're pursuing your dream or whether you're pursuing your dream and working or whether you're just working, because it's always kind of like you can look into other people's lives and be like, yo, that's kind of what I want. But then there's always going to be a part of that life that you want from that person where you don't know what's going on behind the scenes and behind the background. So like, I can go on these vacations, I can do certain things, but then it's like I'm working 80 hours on top of my 80 hours.
So like you
know what I'm saying?
You're dying just to live.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, I got promoted. I lost money on a promotion, was making more money as a fucking officer. And then it's like, all right, but I have weekends and holidays off now, right? And I can do overtime, but that fucking freedom I have now to where I can leave at my scheduled time, I go outside, I smell the fresh air, and my bank account is looking low, but it's like I just have that little bit more freedom, like that. It's just like a little bit of a weight is not on my back anymore. Where like, you know, I'm like, yo, people are like, yo, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm doing 16 hours at work. All right, what are you doing tomorrow? Another 16. What are you doing after that? Another, you know what I'm saying?
Another one. Nah, but like, you know, I think that goes to like the grass is always greener.
Yeah.
You know, people always see someone doing something or, you know, partaking in something that they might want, and the grass would seem amazing. But the grass, you get to that side, or you may get to that point, and you see that everything that it costs, and it's like the grass is greener wherever you water it.
Like we talk about, like, you know, you talk about how you look at us, but it's like I look at you guys, and I think there's a whole bunch of different things that I like about you guys. Like I look at Jerry, and he's married, he has an apartment that he goes home, and he has someone there to share that moment with, and I'm like, damn, I want that. Like hopefully one day I could be at that same moment. And then like even you're like, oh, I'm going to Denmark, and I know I'll go away on vacations, whatever the case may be. But my sister's been to Australia, Japan. Hans is going to Denmark, and it's like, yeah, I went to fucking Barbados a couple of times, but I want to go to fucking Europe.
He going on the other
like
side
you're
of the
going,
planet.
yeah, you're going someplace like to experience something cultural, something different. Like I didn't even know they had these type of acting classes in these other places. So for me, I think that's fucking dope in itself. I wish I could be like, fuck this job, I'm going to Denmark. I'm gonna follow my passion. Like I honestly wish I could do that. But I just think there's, you know, parts of everybody's lives where we wish we had a little bit of part of another person's life or could experience a little bit of something different than we are already going through, that we're already experiencing. And then, you know, again, I think that if you really wanted to, if you wanted to be like, I don't want to act anymore, I'm going to go get a 9-to-5, I think you get a 9-to-5 in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Like
I just don't think you're a 9-to-5 person. I don't think I would like what a 9-to-5 does to you as a person.
Yeah, Hans in like a collar.
I don't
tying collar.
I mean, I just it's not just me trying to fucking pump you full of bullshit and cheer you up. It's just like, I just like, you know, I tell people all the time, they were like, before this podcast, I never saw myself as a creative. I never wanted to do anything creative. I'm like, I'm good. I don't care if I work for somebody. I'm good making the fucking money I make. I'm good being able to do my overtime and do what the fuck I want to do. But now that I'm doing this, it's like, this is fun. I kind of like this. If one day ever I could get paid to do this, hell yeah, in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
I think a 9-to-5 will always be there. I think if things get bad, then you should definitely let us know. We figure some things out together.
Yeah, and you know, like, I'm like honestly, I'm not worried about you because I feel like I was mentioning at the top of this tangent and segue here, your work ethic speaks for itself. You know, any company would be happy to have you. So on that side, I'm seriously not worried about you.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm rooting for you on the acting side more than anything. You know, like, not for me to live vicariously, but you know, I do want to hear about, you know, how such and such was doing coke over someone's nipple. I want to hear about that. I do want to hear about that.
That shit happens. Y'all motherfuckers gonna be there.
Yeah.
This nigga back with the coke boys.
Nah, but yes, like on like the 9-to-5 stuff, I'm thoroughly not concerned about that. But I don't want you ever to second guess your ability.
Like, just before we head out of here, like I want to give a story, right? My coworker, you might have met, she was at my barbecue that time I had in the park.
The chef?
The cook, right?
Yeah, brioche bread.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
So she recently just did a private dinner at her house for Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Like they were at her crib. She cooked for them.
Fire.
Yeah. So like, you know, she's been on that cooking journey longer than I've known you, longer than you've been on the acting journey. And she's worked at places, it never worked out. She went to TSA, she went to jail, she moved to Chicago, something happened at work, she had to take time off, and she started getting like, she never gave up on her cooking, but she started to follow it. She started to do it a little bit more. So she goes out there with nothing but white people out there. She's cooking these in-home dinners. Next thing you know, she goes from cooking, you know, in-home dinners for a certain amount of people to a bunch for a different amount of people to being in like the local newspaper to being on local TV. Now she's doing like cooking for celebrities. And I only tell this story because she went out there with one mindset. The mindset was to work her 9 to 5. You know, she was going to do her cooking thing, you know, as she's been doing it currently, like, you know, sometimes on the weekends for fun. But then life happens and you're forced, and she was thrust back into her craft full-time hard body. And she's now getting all of the reciprocation, all of the accolades, all of the like that stuff from her passion now, and it took years.
All the time she put in is paying off.
Right. But I only tell the story because it's kind of like she's one of those people who I felt like maybe I wouldn't say she gave up on herself, but it kind of was maybe like this won't ever happen.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when you least expect it, things happen. And that might not be everybody's outcome or anything, but I think it's something to look forward to, something to kind of hold on to, something to potentially believe in, because you never know what could happen. You end up a fucking extra in one play, and now that guy wants you as a fucking lead in the next play. Or you take a photo and it fucking goes viral. You know what I'm saying? I think like we're all just a moment away from being where we're exactly where we're supposed to be.
That's a fact.
That's just how I see things. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Jerry, take us out, baby boy.
We hope you guys enjoyed episode 21 of Sorry We Offended You podcast. I think this was an inspirational one. So if you ain't like it, I'm not sure what you want, because we ain't doing it for 999. But we love you guys. Make sure to follow us on everything. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything. So check us out. You can also listen to us anywhere. Check out that YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share that link. But this was episode 21. We catch y'all for 22.
And as always, there's no us without you. The damn sure ain't no you without us. And honestly, truly, just follow your passion. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but the longer you follow it, the more you follow it, the more fulfilled you might be. Whether it takes off seriously or it doesn't, at least you have something to put a little bit of love into. Yo, we out.
What's up, everybody? This is Jerry the Show here, a.k.a. Mr. Photo, a.k.a. gray hair, don't care. Yes, it's natural. But we just got through listening to the Sorry If We Offended You podcast. But if you like it, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Everything you're on, we're on it too. And if you didn't like it, send us an email. Offend us in an email. We're here for the smoke. Either way, we'll hope to hear from you soon. Peace.